Vice Productions.
Clara P. Brown, but when I attended Laurel Hill School, my name was Clara Prelo.
My name is Mel Queen Hamilton. I'm from Alvin, South Carolina. 2/23, 1933.
Christine H. Hamilton Vice, February 8th, 1932.
My name is Ulysses Green. My birthday is February 25th, 1937. As of today, I am 83 years old and getting close to 84, praise the Lord.
I attended Laurel Hill School when I was 5 years old. That's when I went there.
During those times, you would have to start when you're 6 years old. So that would be 1943. I born 1937, so that would be between 1943 and 44.
I graduated in 8th grade. Then after that, they put on the 9th grade. And I could have stayed graduate, but then were people, I'd want you to come out and start clinic. Because I married in April and school closed in May. I remember my white dress. My sister made my white dress, tie, a bow tie, hang on the side of him. That's what I remember. This is good as that.
After I stayed at Laurel Hill School up until 6th grade, and then I would transfer to St. Stephen High School in the 7th grade. I attended St. Stephen School until I was in 10th grade.
I could remember this about there. Let me skip a few. I could picturize this exactly how the school was. I mean, everything was set.
It was just like a common building, wooden building, but it had brick around the porch, which is still standing, but the building was a board building.
As you're coming from up the road, I think Ed told me today, there was a walkway, something like one cement walkway. It was a little gate. The hill was kind of high. And you walk straight up until you get this, from the little gate, go up to the step. A little porch, and then you walk up the step in the building. And you could go straight on through to the first grade room, which is Miss Martha Grant. That was the first grade of the little children, whatever.
Miss Grant room was, like she said, in the back. Miss Ruth's white room was with the auditorium. It was a drawer door. And when you pull that back for program, then you had a big audience. And
that man, we had a program that's as good as that. Da 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 da. I remember Blanca. You know Blanca Bullock? I could remember this as good as that.
When I was there, I remember Miss Salter and Miss Pinckney taught in that particular room. And from that room, it was a kitchen add on to it. And if you don't mind me tell you about the kitchen, and that's where they used to cook at. If you don't mind tell you, they used to have to pay bring 2 eggs in order to eat. 2 eggs or how much what the money was, 10 cents or 15 cents. Either 2 eggs or 15 cents, you know, to pay if you want to get lunch. And a lot of times we didn't get no lunch because we didn't have any money.
Well, this I remember. When we used to take a bowl to get our lunch, we used to stand in line because they used to plant like a garden and plant butter bean, string bean, white potato. And they would take the vegetable that they plant and cook it. But we had to stand in line with a little bowl to get our soup. And we could take eggs to pay for the lunch. The one that wasn't fortunate enough to have the money to pay.
We would go in the chicken house sometime and pull the egg out the chicken. To have 2 eggs to bring the chicken on the nest. And we want to eat when we get to the place. While we were starving, we was hungry. And a few morning, I guess that's why I got a ripping when waiting on the chicken. We pulled the egg out the chicken. If you got 2 eggs, you could eat. Yes, sir.
During back them time, we had a lamp light. You know, the lamps had kerosene lamp. It was later on, I think, when they started getting electricity down there.
Well, they had, in the beginning, was outdoor restaurant.
And they had the boy toilet on the back, on that side, made of wood. The girl toilet been on this side, they was on the edge of the woods.
They had heaters, wood heater, that you could start the fire in, and you had wood heater in each room to heat the room up.
And all them class had a wood heater.
They wasn't doing the kitchen because they would let some of the young men, and I was one, sometimes go out in the woods and get wood for the next day for cooking and for, you know, when it's cold. So it was a door to the kitchen.
After that, you know, they had moved the basketball court in between the two toilet back, you know, back of the school is back there.
I can just say, like, how she drew it out. That's the way the school was. We used to walk from 4 miles every day, what you call the backwoods, and walk through the Foxpond Road.
It was about, I would say about 3 miles or 2.5 miles.
I know all them people from over the bridge used to walk way over.
Walked.
Oh, I was on Highway 45. I was right on the highway. It could be like maybe a 10-minute walk. I wasn't that far from the school.
No, we had no paved road now. All these things were dirt roads. We didn't have any paved.
I used to get up like 6 o'clock.
We used to have to be there at 8:30 because when the bell rang, and that's the only time I ever get a good ripping. I run all the way for 4 miles, and a little bit late. And when I got to the gate, coming through the gate, Mr. Jefferson, I shouldn't say this, but he must have had a bad night because I was coming through the gate, and when I got to the door, Mr. Jefferson had a switch long from me to you. And Mr. Jefferson whipped me so much, they were real in my hand. It was kind of rough for us because every day we leave the school to go, we had to walk up to the turning bar women to say, either them at, call it the Foxpond Road. But when the white children come on the school bus, they would throw paper out and hit us, spit on us. We had to run down in the ditch. And one evening, my cousin Evelyn get a bag of sand. And while we walking going home, Gladys Wyndham was the bus driver for the white people. And they started throwing things out to us, and Evelyn took that bag of sand, and it went right through that glass what he had down. And all that sand just bust up in the children's face. So the bus driver found out it was Evelyn and came to my granddaddy, and I was right there standing up. So Willis, your granddaughter chunk a bag of sand in there, and just bust all up in the children's face. My granddaddy said, yes, sir, Mr. Wyndham. So, but they gonna come home every day and see how young people on the bus gonna throw thing out and hit them. said, stop them from hitting them and they won't show no more sign in it. I remember that just like that.
My husband said their teacher was Mr. Barridge. He said, boy, that man was mean. That man make him sit down if they late or do what and come right across their lap with the switch. Make him go get the switch, yeah.
Miss Fashion was a substitute. Miss Salters and Miss Ruth taught me a little bit too, but Miss Salters and Miss Sanders and Miss Pinckney, those were the three I could really remember. Yes. So, you know, we went there and after Miss Christine and we went to 9th grade, but we went back down to 8th grade. When we finished 8th grade, they sent us to St. Stephen. So 8th grade went back down to 8th grade after they started to integrate these schools and cut out these places, and they bring Laurel Hill School back to our 8th grade school.
Mr. Jefferson, Miss Ruth, Miss Grant, and I remember Miss Holman. Miss Fashion came after my time.
Then my favorite teacher was Miss Grant. That was my first grade teacher. She treated everyone equally. She didn't show favoritism.
They started doing a movie to the place Seymour. You remember that? Seymour from J.K. Goodine School. They would charge 10 cents to show Bob Steele and all them right down to the schoolhouse. We had to pay a dime. Yeah, that was our time. We had to pay 10 cents, so we would go home and pick peas in them white people field just to get 15 or 25 cents in order to pay the 10 cents. They walk down there in the night to see Bob Steele and Jeff Ramsey them to the schoolhouse. 10 cents. When Seymour come in, the music used to say da 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 da, and we just wait and look at that movie. 10 cents. That's what we used to pay. All that happened at Laurel Hill School.
Some of my classmates were Ulysses Green, Phoebe Nelson, Brown, Sealand Green, Helen Hamilton, and a few more.
For one, Christine, Lila Mae Squire, Daisy Lee Brown, Bessie Green, it was Bessie Green then, and Bessie Nelson, Rita Kinlaw, and it's whole. I know I remember them because all of us was on the basketball team together.
Let me tell you what Ma Queen. Ma Queen would get that ball and Ma Queen been making 3 points then. But then we knew not but the 3 points. Ma Queen could shoot more from there, boom!
But I used to love to see them play that basketball, and she was good on that court. I can tell you that. Christy was good on that court.
But we had fun. We won a lot of games. We played against Mount Scona High School, and we beat them.
But you know when we met to play on Mount Scona, I already read it right to the video and watched them call. After that was a tough game. 12th grade. And we were playing so good, and we were playing rough. And the girl named Veronica, real short, kind of red-haired girl. And she missed a hit me in my nose. You know when you play rough, anything happens. Just like football. And she must have hit me in my nose started bleeding. But my nose used to bleed every once in a while anyway.
Some years later, like Sister Christine said, they didn't have a boys team. But then when they formed a boys team, it was late Henry Nelson, Frank Weiss, Frank, Nathan Weiss, Benjamin Nelson, Cornelius Bryant, Clyde Hamilton. And Willie Mazik was a substitute, yes. And they had a pretty good boys team. and they came after them. Since Christy and them work a half a court, the 5-headed boys on the main team could run all over the court. We was playing either town, and since Christy and them whipped the girls with the game, and then when Henry them got it in, and let me tell you, $1 was money. Henry leave from the court, and when he got half of the line, Henry Nelson turned the ball loose, and the ball went right in the goal. The principal from either town who was playing said, "If you do that again, I'll give you $1." And they give Henry the ball, and Henry put it right back in there. So Henry got $1. That was money back during that time.
That's all I'm going to tell you about the basketball. I'm not going to tell you nothing else.
When we leave from school around 2:30, we used to walk back home, and then we had to go in the field, like Sister Christine said.
We had to do a little work, field, definitely in the afternoon.
And we would go in the field and strip the corn. We call it strip fodder.
I know we used to plant, I think my mother used to plant that rice.
And dig potato, because we used to live on the farm. My granddaddy them used to live on the farm, had a lot of cows and a lot of hogs.
And we used to pick the peas.
So when we get home, we used to work till dark. When they separate the school, and we went to St. Stephen, the 8th grade. And then, like Sister Christine was saying, we done a lot of work to the Laurel Hill School. And we fix it up, and Ed can contest to this, and we've been having a lot of function at the Laurel Hill School.
They had like weddings, and and then they also had like parties, and they had a lot of fundraising to raise money for the community.
And when they had this situation with the Alvin people and the Macedonian people, the white and black men doing all these shooting, and how we bring this thing to conclusion. I was a constable. Earl Buford was a deputy sheriff, and me and Johnny Weiss and Ben Perillo, we went out to Macedonia, and we told them fellas, I'm gonna say it because the truth. We had our gun right under the seat when we went out there, because they had a lot of guns. And I knew there was a white guy out there we could get along, and I told him this, said, "You got the nerve to come out here?" I said, "Sir, we come out here for peace." I said, "Your people came out and shot in the front of the place." I said, "Somebody gonna get killed if we don't have a meeting." So we went to Reverend Mike Buford, Sheriff Rogers, and a couple white preachers, and they said they would come and meet. So we met in that Laurel Hill School, and this way they bring the conclusion. Jimmy Rogers told the white people in there, so if y'all had get hurt in Alvin, so it would have been paid for. Well, I know he didn't say it because it didn't happen. He said, because y'all come in somebody else's community and start shooting. When they decide that they're gonna have the meeting, I don't know where all these Army black boys come from, but when me and Earl them came up, Tomley them come, and we said, "Hey, we're gonna have a meeting to the schoolhouse, and we want y'all to come." Some was up in the trees, some was on top of them building, and when we convinced them to come to the meeting, I did not know that people from Bono, Jamestown, Pineville, Alvin, St. Stephen, them fellas been coming on in like a bunch of soldiers. You could hear the thing rattling. Them fellas, ooh, I tell you, God was with us in the Alvin, because if you had killed one of them, you know what's gonna happen. But the St. Laurel Hill School is really met at with the sheriff, the white preachers, the black preachers, and all of these boys, and things come together after that. Then they integrate Macedonian School at the same time, so some other people that going there. So everything worked out good. Praise the Lord. So I just want to say that we just want to thank Officer Ed for what he's doing to obtain. Done had 3 reading on it, the spot where the Laurel Hill School was, and he's going to be putting a marker and everything down there. And we just want to give him thanks because he really putting a lot into it, and it all will be something that we always remember Laurel Hill School.
Yeah, I think that's something nice to put there.
I think it was a pretty good idea. It needed something there for, to let the younger one know that a lot of their ancestors came through Laurel Hill School.